is 7. Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and his men got up the next morning and camped near the spring of Harod. The Midianites were camped north of them, near the hill of Moreh in the valley. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many men for me to hand Midian over to you." Israel might brag, "Our own strength has delivered us." Now announce to the men, whoever is shaking with fear may turn around and leave Mount Gilead. 22,000 men went home. 10,000 remained. The Lord spoke to Gideon again. "There are still too many men. Bring them down to the water, and I will thin the ranks some more. When I say, 'This one should go with you,' pick him to go. When I say, 'This one should not go with you,' do not take him." So he brought the men down to the water. When the Lord said to Gideon, "Separate those who lap the water as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink." Only 300 men lapped with their hands to their mouths. The rest of the men kneeled to drink water. The Lord said to Gideon, "With the 300 men who lapped it, I will deliver the whole army, and I will hand Midian over to you. The rest of the men should go home." The men who were chosen took supplies and their trumpets. Gideon sent all the men of Israel back to their home. He kept only 300 men. Now the Midianites were camped down below the valley. That night the Lord said to Gideon, "Get up, attack the camp, for I am handing it over to you. But if you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with Purah, your servant, and listen to what they are saying. Then you will be brave and attack the camp." So he went down with Purah his servant and to where the sentries were guarding the camp. Now the Midianite, Amalekites, and the people from the east covered the valley like a swarm of locusts. Their camels could not be counted. There were innumerable as the sands on the seashore. When Gideon arrived, he heard a man telling another man about a dream he had. The man said, "Look, I had a dream. I saw a stale cake of barley bread rolling into the Midianite camp. It hit a tent so hard it knocked it over and turned it upside down. The tent just collapsed." The other man said, "Without a doubt, that symbolizes the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has handed Midianite and all the army over to him." When Gideon heard the report of the dream and its interpretation, he praised God. Then he went back to the Israelite camp and said, "Get up! The Lord is handing the Midianite army over to you." He divided the 300 men into 3 units. He gave them all trumpets and empty jars with torches inside them. He said to them, "Watch me and do as I do. Watch closely. I am going to the edge of the camp. Do as I do. When I and all who are with me blow our trumpets, you also blow your trumpets all around the camp. Then say, 'For the Lord and for Gideon.'" Gideon took 100 men to the edge of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, just after they had changed the guards. They blew their trumpets and broke the jars they were carrying. All 300 units blew their trumpets and broke their jars. They held the torches in their left hand and the trumpets in their right hand. Then they yelled, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" They stood in order all around the camp. The whole Midianite army ran away. They shouted as they scrambled away. When the 300 men blew their trumpets, the Lord caused the Midianites to attack one another with their swords. Throughout the camp, the army fled to Beth Shittah on the way to Zerah. They went to the border of Abel Meholah near Tabbath. Israelites from Naphtali, Asher, and Manasseh answered the call and chased the Midianites. Now Gideon sent messengers throughout the Ephraim hill country who announced, "Go down and head off the Midianites. Take control of the fjords of the stream all the way to Beth Barah and the Jordan River." When all the Ephraimites had assembled, they took control of the fjords all the way to Beth Berah and the Jordan River. They captured the 2 Midianite generals, Oreb and Zeb. They executed Oreb on the rock of Oreb and Zeb in the winepress of Zeb. And Zeb in the winepress of Zeb. They chased the Midianites and brought their heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon, who was now on the other side of the Jordan. So, yeah, the voice says you like it. Yeah, more scripture. Exactly, more scripture. Okay, so one of the most fascinating stories here. But by the way, there is the movie 300. There's the story of the Spartans with 300. Gideon did it first, ladies and gentlemen. Gideon did it first. He well, you know. Interesting question, Ukulele. If you execute someone in your wine press, do you use the wine press again? the reading in your head is now going to be flat cap all the time. Oh, no. Yes, there's a movie 300. It's about the Spartans defending Greece against the Persians. And there were 300 Spartans just out for a walk. Anyway, so Gideon has a whole bunch of people. And so they have responded to the call of Gideon, and it sounds like a pressing matter. Exactly. There's too many. God says there's too many. So just send anybody home who doesn't want to be here. Just send anybody home who doesn't want to be here. I love that mentality. Send people home who are too afraid to fight. Like, you got a reason not to be here. You're not going to help us. You are going to, like, just think about this. You're going to panic and flee. It's better you're not here. Because when you panic and flee, the guy who was brave next to you might flee because you're panicked and fleeing, and you might inspire the other army. So no, we're better off with people who will not panic and flee. So you guys just get to go home. So 22,000 went home. Now you're down to 10,000. Now, normally 10,000 is a good number, a significant number. It's used in multiple places. I would feel confident with a 10,000 army. Let's go. And God's like, no, you still got too many. I don't want people to think it was their might and power that did it. I want people to know I'm the one who did this. So we need to thin the herd even more. Yeah, Ukulele. I mean, either like they drink the blood, not thinking about contamination, and they're just ruining the wine press. Yeah, I'm not sure, because it says it's called the wine press of, but was it actually inside or was it outside? And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might just become a monument on some level too. Chillwell, good morning. You hope you are well, and you pray for peace and grace today. Thank you, friend. I hope you are well also. I'm doing good. Okay, so one of the most interesting things here is the take everyone down to drink water. Their hands to their mouth is difficult in light of distinguishing between dog-like lappers who would not use their hands to drink and those who kneel, who would presumably use their hands. The words with their hands to their mouths may have been misplaced. They fit better with the end of verse 5 or 6. Perhaps these words were originally a marginal scribe note, which was later accidentally inserted in the text in the wrong place. But on the other hand, since 300 men were the men selected for the army, lapping with their hands to their mouth would allow them to see their surroundings, which would be a good procedure for a soldier. The kneelers were sent away presumably because they made themselves more vulnerable to enemy attack. Yes, but yeah, it is confusing in here the way that it's worded. But I love it anyway. Like, we're just going to separate people by the way that they drink. So just to give a modern equivalent of this, if you lift your pinky when you're sipping your tea, you get to go home. But if you don't lift your pinky, you get to stay. You'll be in the army. Yep, intentionally I picked to not get to stay. I don't want to. But it's just a matter of, how do you drink? How do you drink things? There we go. Spot of tea. A spot of tea, Supersonic. It is English breakfast. English breakfast, baby. Let's find out how. So they separate it down to 300. 300 is not significant number of men to go against multiple armies. You have the Midianites, the Amalekites, and the people of the east. They are coming. They are like a locust plague. So there's only 300 of them. This is going to surely be, God is the one who does this. How is God going to do it? Well, God has sent a dream. Now he lets Gideon know this. He also sounds like camp with Purah, your servant. So he brings a servant along. Why does he bring a servant along? Because the servant is going to be able to convey and validate that they indeed heard the message and spread it throughout the camp. So I think all 300 men are going to know of it. It doesn't tell us that he tells them that. That would take up extra space in the text. But I think he goes down, they listen, there's the dream, which it's funny to me that it is a barley loaf that goes down. A stale cake of barley bread rolling down the Midianite camp. There's probably something significant about it being barley. I don't know what that is. I don't know the culture enough. I don't know the season of the grains of when they're fighting. If a stale barley cake is going to be symbolizing something about the harvest season, I don't know. Don't know what it is. But I think the fact it mentions barley is probably something there. And it rolls into the camp, and it knocks down a tent, and it collapses. And the other guy interprets it. It's the sword of Gideon who is going to overthrow the Midianite army. So it's got a proper interpretation. It's got a proper a warning there. So no doubt if they're talking about it, it's going to on some level spread. And they wait till the next turnover of the guard. So that, like, if you're awake and on guard duty, you're going to be chatting and talking. And so this story of the dream is probably going to be spreading around all the people who are on guard. That's what I think. I think it's spreading around all the people who are on guard. Maybe you want a Catholic in the same space. I'm down if it's okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Like, we have people of all different. We will let you self-select out of not associating with us. We're not kicking people out who say they're following Jesus. So if you want to be in the EDM, you're welcome. Ukulele, I wonder if some soldiers were being all ungrateful for those stale barley cakes. Oh, so you're thinking maybe the army had stale barley cakes. See, I was thinking it was more along the people of Gideon or of Israel would have had stale food because they couldn't get any fresh food because all the fresh stuff was being taken. But maybe the army has stale cakes. Interesting. Anyway, not sure, but I think there's something with barley that's going on. And like this, is this not a brilliant idea? You've got a pot with a torch underneath it in one hand, and you've got a sword in the other, or a trumpet in the other hand. So you're going to have a torch in one hand and a trumpet in one hand. You're blowing the trumpet, and you smash the pot, and then a flame goes up. So if you've got 300, just think about this mathematically. If you've got 300 guys with torches, there are probably, 10, 20 people per flame that are also probably there. You got 300 men surrounding the camp. I don't know how far apart they are, spread out. You've got 300 horns that are blasting at the same time. It's the middle of the night. It's chaos. It looks like a massive army coming against you, and they all flee. They all flee. Take it like a Christmas fruitcake, the gift that keeps on giving. At least that's the meme you're aware of. Yeah. I like fruitcake. My mom made some for me this past Christmas. I was pretty happy about it. Haven't had homemade in a while. Okay, so he gives them instructions. They go and they do this. They rout the men. The men are running away. And then he's giving orders for other parts of the army that were sent away to go and head them off. Like, we can send one messenger really fast who can warn other people to go. And so they're trying to stop them from crossing the Jordan River. So they're going all up the Jordan River, and they are blocking the pathway so that they cannot cross, so they can fully defeat them. So it's not the 300 that go and defeat all of them. It is 300 that defeat them and send them to flight. And it's the remnant that is running away, that they're meeting them along the border and stopping them from going across the border. So, and then we've got, they take the heads of the river, they stop that all up, and then we get to Oreb and Zeb. Maybe there's something in the names here. The names Oreb and Zeb, which mean raven and wolf, respectively, are apparently because the Midianites had been like scavengers and predators to Israel. So, raven and wolf. So they execute raven at the rock of Raven, and they execute wolf at the winepress of Wolf. They chase the Midianites, and they bring the heads of raven and wolf, who are now on the other side of the Jordan River, to Gideon, who is now on the other side. So they're fighting all along the Jordan River as they're fleeing. Ukulele. Either way, God giving us something, we're ungrateful for it, and he has a purpose for it. A soft loaf of bread wouldn't knock down a tent. Ooh, that's a good insight there, Ukulele. A soft roll of bread wouldn't knock the tent down. Ooh. Yeah, the soft roll of bread would bounce off of it and not make an impact and make a difference. That's for sure. Okay. There we go. We got Judges 6 and Judges 7. Not very much today. We